Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another video. So a box just arrived, and according to the label, it's a spicy one. So of course, we have to open it up, get a first look together. The unboxings and first impressions with you guys is one of my favorite things about running a gear channel. So smack a like on the video if you're going to enjoy it. That massively helps out. And for every like, I will give Pringle a banana slice. Much appreciated from both of us. So let's open this thing up, see what we've got. Whoa, I did not know this Hi, Coach. I did not know this came with a hard case. It's an interesting Fender logo. It's like a vintage hot rod style. Pretty cool. I don't think I've seen a Fender logo like this before. And this color combination is just outrageous. Is this hideous? Is this beautiful? Dude, this plush is insane. It's so shiny. It's like El Dorado, just a little more orange. Hey, so I don't know if you guys forgot because the case is so distracting, but there's actually a guitar in here too. And here it is from the back. Same oatmeal burst color. Shout out Sweetwater for supporting the channel and hooking us up with this hotness, including this guitar. So what is it? Why is it so special? Why is it so sought after? And why is the case so fucking orange? All right, so as part of the Stratocaster's 70th anniversary celebrations, Fender have added this Stratocaster in the rare and very divisive Antigua color to the Vintera 2 series. So what is up with this, what some people I'm sure lovingly refer to as puke burst? Well, it stemmed from a production fuck up, but in hindsight, Antigua ranks amongst Fender's greatest mistakes of all time. In 1966, Fender decided they needed a semi-hollow competitor to Gibson's ES335, so they created the Coronado series. Now, not only was this their first time making semi-hollows, it was also their first time adding binding, and their imperfect body binding process wound up accidentally burning the edges of the guitars. Now, CBS had just bought Fender and weren't into wasting money, so rather than throwing the bodies away, they decided to rebrand the mustardy, overcooked marshmallow look as Antigua Burst on the Coronado 2, matching the look on the headstock and pickguard to make the whole thing look intentional. And since then, it's kind of become a cult favorite finish. Nicely played, Fender. Now, the original run of Antigua Strats and Tellies only lasted from 1977 to 1979, so not only was that 40 years ago, but also not a huge number of them were made, so prices are pretty ridiculous. And I'm not a Fender encyclopedia, so I could be wrong, but neither of the other only 2 special limited run reissues I found came with a rosewood fingerboard, so that's a nice plus for this Vintera. This is also the only reissue to date with a hardtail originally exclusive to just 1979 Strats. So this is actually a very rare and specific spec combo that Fender have opted to make more accessible with a made in Mexico production version of the 1979 Antigua Strat. As for the rest of the specs, alder body, tinted maple neck with the 70s U-shape to match the lovably massive 70s headstock and 3-bolt neck plate. The rosewood fingerboard has a very round 7¼ inch radius and 21 vintage style frets, and at the headstock we've got a synthetic bone nut, period correct bullet style truss rod, and F-stamped vintage style tuners. And the hand-painted pickguard has been loaded with 70th anniversary vintage style 70s single coil pickups that Fender says, quote, deliver the perfect blend of warmth and bite. And we'll see about that in a second, but take a shot every time you hear me mention the 70s. All right, let's take a look at the case candy. Tools, sticker, case keys, warranty card. Pretty standard stuff, except, look at this. Fender Certificate of Authenticity, 70th anniversary, and they've stamped the serial to give it a nice little vintage touch. Dude, this is the kind of stuff I feel has been lost recently. Now, unboxing this, it's not just a guitar, it's a well thought out, crafted, vintage themed experience. Well played, Fender. And dude, check this out. What is this? It's a little ashtray. Give it that extra vintage look. Sick. It also looks like it's not going to do your palm mute game any favors, so let's just take that off for now. But I love that they've included these things. It's these little pieces of case candy and the case itself that make a world of difference. And speaking of a world of difference, the sponsor of today's video, who happen to be Sweetwater. And relevant to today's video, as you can see, every Antigua finish is unique. So Sweetwater's guitar gallery is phenomenal for picking out the exact guitar that you want instead of taking a gamble like you might do on other sites. For example, my preference is a lighter color for a more contrasty burst. So I actually used the guitar gallery to pick this particular one we're looking at today. I've been a Sweetwater customer for about 15 years now, so I'm super stoked to have them on as a channel partner and help bring you guys better guitar content. There are a ton of holiday deals going on right now, so I'll leave links to more details on all the gear in the video used down in the description. And you can also bookmark my general affiliate link below for when you decide to pick up something later, like strings or picks or whatever. It's a great way to support the channel. It also lets Sweetwater know that I sent you, so we can put together more awesome content like this for you guys. It does have a poly finish instead of nitro, so it won't age the same as the originals. But other than that, I've always had a fascination with 70s era guitars because there was so much weird experimentation going on. Weird guitars, unique spec choices that were only around for a couple of years before being lost to time. It's such an underappreciated era compared to the 50s or the 60s. And so an accessible and mostly faithful reissue of a late 70s guitar in a configuration that was literally only available for a single year that comes in this outrageous period correct orange plush case, I'm so in. But looks and specs alone don't tell the full story, and my favorite way to really put a guitar through its paces is to write something with it, see what kind of riffs it inspires. So let's plug it in, get some tones, get some first impressions, and come up with the demo track. Strat pickups, man, they just, I mean, for high gains, so quacky. Just bear in mind, tuning stability is a bit wonky at the moment. Just adjusted the really cool 70s bullet-style truss rod. Thank God, by the 70s, they'd finally moved to adjusting the truss rod at the headstock instead of the terrible body-side truss rod adjustment of the 50s and 60s. Classic Strat volume knob placement. You either love it for those easy volume swells or you hate it for pretty much everything else. And I realize I've never really looked up exactly what these two tone knobs do. So 1 second, I'm gonna do the quick Google that I should have done before I turned on the camera.
2 very boring minutes later.
Got it. So like I was saying, this tone control is for the neck and middle, and this tone control is for the bridge. So I wonder, since it's so quacky, it's pretty sick, actually. Metal player discovers tone control. Whoa. Yeah, that's actually pretty sick. That should fit well in the mix because it's still got that cutting nature that single coil pickups have, but with the tone control backed off, it's not like overly harsh. For signal chain, I'm running this through the Rev Generator 120 Mark III. It's on the red channel, which is kind of a modernized rectifier voice, and that's going into one of my favorite IRs from the Kick-Ass Audio Hidden Gem Pack. Yes, it's a shameless plug, but we're so proud of what we've created, and we're so proud that you guys love them too. Go to our website, kickass-audio.com, get a free IR, try it out for yourself. Simple but pretty cool southern rock style thing. We can do something with that. Maybe modernize it with palm mutes and natural harmonics. Oh yeah, I've got this in drop D, by the way, because, I don't know, metal players, they're the worst. Ascending, harmonizing southern rock guitars? Hell yeah. This neck is interesting. It's definitely on the fatter side, but it's not one of those legit baseball bat style 50s necks. It's got like super round, thick shoulders and then it's kind of flattened on the back, which is way more comfortable than it sounds out loud, especially with how nicely these fingerboard edges are rolled. I mean, damn. But yeah, quite different to a 60s style neck or a modern Fender neck. Very much its own thing. It's like a super thick version of like ESP's Thin U. That's the closest thing I can think of that a lot of people, especially viewers of this channel, are probably familiar with. Now, I've played guitars with these vintage tall frets before and found them immediately off-putting, but for whatever reason, this one I barely even noticed until I looked down and was like, holy shit, these frets are so tiny. Really don't mind them this time. No idea why. Maybe I'm just getting old. We move. And then I'm thinking some sort of like ascending power chord heavy riff, something to throw a wah lead over or something.
346 minutes later.
Alright, lost the plot at the end there, but I like the idea, especially with those little southern rock fills in between.
something like that. I don't know. It'll be fine. We'll clean it up in post. We move.
Jury's still out on this color overall, but I gotta say the pickguard's pretty cool. Triple ply plus the hand painted. It's not bad. Not nearly as bad as the 87 trillion and 3% of viewers who have not hit the subscribe button. So here's your quick reminder to do that and hit the notification bell if you're enjoying the content. Really helps the channel out with the algorithm more than you might realize. So really appreciate you if you decide to do that. Ooh, and I like the side dots too. What are they, clay? Little pieces of wood? Either way, it's one of those little things that goes a long way. Like this looks much nicer than plastic white dots. As enlightening as the tone control has been for high gain, let's actually maybe explore some of the diversity that Strats are known for. Clean section time. Very pleasant. Yeah, just kind of copy the same progression and flows we had for the previous riff, and then kind of take inspiration from Alter Bridge during their clean parts. They've got two guitars going, playing completely different things, but one of them is doing like the bass part, and one of them is doing like the high part. Yeah, something like that, just repeating over it. That'll sound pretty cool. Too much versatility for my brain. We need to go back to the oogity boogities, thinking just a big, beefy caveman outro riff. Yep, that's fairly oogity boogity. Okay, in my defense, if you have a Digitech whammy, you can't just not use it. Alright, this is getting out of control. We need to stop it here. So I'm gonna go ahead, work on this demo track off camera, and I'll meet you back here for my final thoughts. But first, here's how the demo track consisting of the first riffs inspired by this guitar turned out. Okay, so as I said earlier, I'm a massive fan of 70s guitars. The 70s Telecaster Custom and Telecaster Deluxe are probably my favorite Fenders of all time. So is this very 70s guitar my favorite Strat ever? Maybe? There is a lot that I like about it, even though it's very much not like the guitars I normally play, and I will never not give praise to how great this headstock is. It's just, and I feel guilty because it is its 70th birthday, but I'm just not a traditional Strat guy. It's not you, it's me. Maybe I need to look into those janky Mentos looking low profile knobs on Etsy, and I'm still undecided on Antigua Burst. Love the story, love the lore, but it's unique, and I do like unique, and that's what I really do enjoy about this 79 inspired Vintera Strat. That combo of the U-shaped neck and the super round 7¼ inch radius fingerboard, it doesn't feel like the commonly reissued 50s or 60s Strats. The tiny frets, it definitely doesn't feel like a modern Fender either. It's got a very distinct, unique feel. And again, it's got the coolest Fender headstock of all time, but just the overall experience, like the overall aura. With this, Fender chose to faithfully reissue a guitar that was available specifically only in 1979. The whole package is pure fan service for the guitar nerds. Love that. So those are just my thoughts. Here's where I'll throw it to you. What do you think of this guitar? What do you think about the Antigua color? Which Strat is your favorite 70th anniversary model? Any and all thoughts? Drop them down below. Huge thanks to my incredible supporters on Patreon who make these videos possible. Their names are up on the screen right now because literally without you guys, the channel would be long dead. So if you enjoy the content and would like to join them, you can become a patron for bonus extras and to see your name up there too. Social media, merch, and a link to more details on the gear are in the description. As always, thanks so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I will see you for the next video.